All right, good morning. Good morning, good morning. So we are post-CPI right now. Let's take a look at ES. Ahead of CPI, we have price trading right near that prior day volume point of control, up near that prior day high. Here's a 5-minute regular trading hours chart. Get the initial reaction lower, right? That first move lower, price undercuts the pre-market low. Got some buyers stepping in there. Retest of VWAP, retest of that 54.85 level of interest. Again, not all that surprising to see some sellers step in there. Price comes back down into that value area low for the overnight session and sets up a higher low right through there. Now, pretty much nice bounce up and through that CPI high, trading right into that prior day high. So prior day high, 55.10 is going to be that main focus area for ES this morning. And again, one of the challenging things about the current setup that we've been talking about for this week is the fact that so far this week has shown some pretty bullish activity following the local low that was marked during Friday's session. You have the gap up Monday, and a series of higher lows has begun to develop. Now, this is in the near term bullish. Past few sessions, definitely bullish. However, the backdrop here, the bigger picture context, is a daily breakdown that was triggered a couple of weeks ago. You have a retest of the breakdown point right there, and then price showing that series of lower highs. This is what I call multiple time frame misalignment. We have misalignment among the multiple time frames. The intermediate term, the past couple of weeks, shows bearish activity. The near term shows some bullish activity. So does not make for the easiest trading conditions. Typically, you want to be staying nimble, making sure you're getting involved with good trade location, and really paying attention to what that structure and what those higher time frame candles are showing you. So for this morning, we want to see if buyers can continue to press the prior day high, the 55.10 area, to potentially test last week's volume point of control right through here. That's 55.25, and then up into 55.40. Now, if price can break that NFP high right through here, right near 55.32, and show acceptance above that point, we'll have a change in character on the intermediate term chart, and this near term bullishness will turn into more immediate term bullishness. That's kind of the idea that I'm looking for here, potentially today, maybe tomorrow. But the main thing is just to see, can buyers first and foremost break up and through the 55.10, right? This was a key area from last week. You could see how important of a support zone that was, and then turned into resistance, right? So 55.10 main watch here on ES. Now NQ, it is pretty similar as far as the structure is concerned. You have the near term in an uptrend here following a local low that was marked Friday afternoon. Now price coming into last week's range, almost into that NFP high actually. NFP high is into essentially 970 or so. So 18,970. It's definitely an area to be keeping on watch. I'll probably just round that right into the 19K level. But again, if buyers can show a push up and through 970, up and through 19K, we'll have a change in character on the higher time frame charts, on those hourly charts, on that 4-hour and daily time frame chart. The main objective for buyers today is to hold price above this prior day high, above the 18,900, and primarily just keep this series of higher lows continuing. So that's the early focus here this morning into the bell, about 5 minutes till the bell. That first 30 minutes, what I want to see is if the prior day high is going to hold, if the 18,900 is going to be holding. So that's the watch. We did have Again, CPI, initial move lower. You have some buyers stepping in versus the prior day volume point of control. This is a first decent entry here for a post-data move, right? Push up into VWAP, pull back, again, retest of the prior day volume point of control. Now you have a higher low, right? And again, this is all happening very quickly, so sometimes it's better to look at your 30-second chart, right? Higher low, push up into the 820 level of interest. Again, another pullback, holding that prior day volume point of control, and a nice push higher there into pre-market high up and through the prior day high up and through the 18,900. Now let's take a look at current profile, see where we're at. So volume point of control is still way down here at 18,800. We'll see how we open up. We're going to be looking at a small gap this morning, most likely. So we'll see how that gap is treated. I won't be in any rush off the open. Did have about 40 points caught this morning on NQ. I would have hit it again, honestly, at that retest of the prior day volume point of control, but I'd stepped away from the desk to get some coffee. So some good action this morning. Hopefully you guys caught some of that. I really like anytime we have a big, more widely watched economic data print, typically there's going to be some decent setups to work with. The market is quite active during those times, and I don't see any reason to not be looking for some potential trades there. So we'll see how we open up now. We're going to be looking at the 18,900 / prior day high here on NQ in about 2.5 minutes till the open. So off the open, we want to see again how that gap is treated. Very slight gap higher. And we got the open in about 90 seconds here. Don't forget to update those pre-market high levels if you mark those on your chart. All right, so ES pulling in a little bit, struggling with that prior day high area. See how this 15-minute bar closes up here into the open. 30 seconds till the open. Big shooting star so far has closed in about 15 seconds. So back into that prior day high, NQ. And there's a visual of your gap higher. Gap is almost filled now, coming into that close right around 18,850. So that 15-minute bar ahead of the open showing some early follow through. Gap just about filled there. Let's see what our profile is looking like. Oh yeah, we got a ways before that volume point of control moves. So a decent little bounce there versus that prior day close point, that gap fill point, as well as the value area high. And back into 18,900 level of interest. NQ definitely stronger than ES so far this morning. Here's ES into VWAP and session volume point of control. Again, rejecting that prior day high. CPI high. That's about 18,870 area. Don't forget to stay hydrated. Get those electrolytes in. And let's see this opening 5-minute bar closing here in about 90 seconds. Back into that 18,900 area. ES again today with some notable relative weakness here, pressing the session low. Yeah, man, I got the espresso, water, and then water with electrolytes and some other supplements in there. So NQ, just looking at this prior day high, 18,900 level of interest reaction. Coming into the lows now. See if we get that higher low, or if sellers are able to flush it here into the 820. There you go, new low of day. See that 820. Yeah, 5-minute doesn't look great. Got a true gap fill there. Prior day value area high. That's just a reference point for me. As always, I prefer the levels of interest. Big higher time frame. structural points. And then the other thing to keep in mind here is that 15-minute bar into the open. Right? That's what sellers want to see. So if you're trying to short the 900, you love that shooting star right there. Like if you invert the chart, shows you a little hammer. That'd be a decent long setup, right? Right at your level of interest into the bell. Good opening drive trade. So this is definitely the opening drive short. Now we want to see at what point do buyers step in. Is it right here at 820? Let's see. Let's see. Nice shirt. Thank you, Strong. Thank you, sir. One of my favorites. %50 pullback. What are you looking at? CPI low? I would guess. Yeah, right there. Do we have 10 a.m. data today? I don't believe so. No 10 a.m. data. So still looking at this reaction near 820. I'd like to see a true test. Not in any rush here. No data? Okay, that's good info. Good info. So a little bit of buying action there versus that fib. You had your VWAP there as well. And we're back in a prior day high. This will give us some good clues here. Reaction to prior day high. So that would be like your initial target. If you grab the 50%, 820 LOI, VWAP long. That's what I would be doing anyway. Trim into prior day high. I have no position on currently. Wow, so ES almost into that CPI low. Continues with that relative weakness. You have to bounce into the underside of 54.85 and price just rolling over. Here comes that pre-market low here on ES. Yeah, always check the shape of that 15-minute bar heading into the open. Very, very helpful. So NQ, we almost have that first 15-minute bar closed. Back into session volume point of control now. Series of lower highs for the cash session so far. That's the theme. So if 820 does fail, if you see that sustained action below 820, you're looking at 760 again. That's that CPI support area, prior day volume point of control. All right, almost back into that prior day high now. Off of that 1 minute hammer. So up through prior day high can trigger a little change in character on this intraday downtrend. Series of lower highs so far from the cash open. So if this breaks, see what happens there. Yeah, it's a good bounce. It's a good bounce. Keep an eye on that 5 minutes. Still doesn't close for 2.5 minutes. So there's a key juncture here for the intraday setup. See if sellers step back in or not. Looks like ES found some buyers versus that CPI low as well. And sellers, as expected, stepping in there again at prior day high. 15-minute bar closes here in 1 minute. They're just staying patient. 820 prior day high. Nearest levels. Intraday so far a downtrend. 15-minute bar closed bearish. All right, big red bar. And that was following essentially that exhaustion candle, that shooting star candle, up at the 18,900 level of interest. So a couple of responsive bounces versus 820 again, but notably no change in character. So the intraday downtrend continues. Typically not what you want to see if you are a buyer. See what ES is doing. Pressing the lows. Yeah, just sitting on the lows there. So ES may be worth watching an undercut of that CPI low and seeing if you get any response to that area. If you're trading ES, keep an eye on that. It's a worthwhile watch. NQ with a new low there. So again, next real level here is down into that prior day volume point of control. You can see the support there from CPI, post-CPI as well. And we're about 13 minutes till 10 a.m. There's that overnight low. So buyers will be looking to reclaim here, see if they can reclaim. If not, you're going to be looking at, let's see, potentially down into 54.50. It's that prior day low zone. NQ still looking at that 820. Prefer to see some intraday change of character here. There's just, like I said a few times now, just a series of lower highs. Lower highs, lower lows. Back into that 820 area. Check out this 5-minute as well. Big tail there. Still a minute before it closes. So sellers trying to force that next lower high right through here. You do have volume point of control in this area, 820, and VWAP as well. In about 10 minutes till 10 a.m. So ES rolling over here. No sustained action above that CPI low. 5465 level of interest right there. It's possible that this sets up into kind of a new range right through here. We'll see how we're looking post 10 a.m. in 10 minutes. So NQ, that 5 minute, did not close as the hammer we were looking at. Another example of waiting for candle closure before doing too much analysis. So NQ into that underside of 820 here, underside of VWAP. VWAPy. Not a bad spot to be into 10 a.m. with that 820 right there. See how the structure continues to build out. ES just continues to sit on the lows here. So if NQ can trade up through 835, this most recent high right through here, that would be significant, at least for the intraday structure so far. And we are 7 minutes till 10 a.m. Anyone catch the short? How's the morning so far? Cashed up, green, nice, nice, nice. Small green, chilling. Good stuff. Yeah, at this point, for me, I may as well just wait for 10 a.m. NQ, new low of day there. So I'll look at the prior day volume point of control again. Post-Cpi support right through there. And now we're looking at ES. ES still right here, 54.65. Need some help from the higher time frames, ideally like the 5 minute or something here, before buyers really have a chance. It's down below the weekly volume point of control. No help from the 15 minute whatsoever. We got the espresso finished off. NQ almost back into the underside of that 820 again. It's pretty choppy, all things considered. This is pretty typical of that time frame misalignment. It's not, I mean, the trend is obviously lower today, but it's not that smooth type of selling price action. So an 820 reclaim with then like a higher low could be interesting. But so far, we're just lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. And it's more clear on the 1 minute if it's kind of tough to see there. If you're intraday, take the, see if I take the drawings off. You get a much cleaner picture of how the intraday structure unfolds, right? Lower highs, potentially lower high. So 3 minutes till 10. Let's see if we actually get a 10 a.m. reversal time or not. No data at 10 a.m. Check hourly. Let's see the 30 first. Yeah, it's definitely a big red bar. With that test of the almost into the weekly volume point of control, but for the current structure tested there. So for intraday, again, like I said, either looking at a reclaim of 820 with maybe a higher low type of setup or some action versus this CPI support. Regardless, no rush here. No bid in ES whatsoever. And I have no level at the current location. It's down into prior day low, essentially 54.50 for ES. Yeah, that 820 level is holding nicely, definitely. So if price can't, like I said, if price can reclaim, that would be significant. Reclaim with acceptance. But right now, just another lower high and back into the lows. There's your session low, new low of day. And about 1 minute till 10 a.m. So let's see what we get here. See what we get. So far, best action was pre-market, in my opinion. Check that 15-minute closing here in 20 seconds. Another big broad sell bar. You guys are goofy. So there's that prior day volume point of control. Had some CPI support right through there. Let's see CPI low. And are we 10 a.m.? Yeah, we're 10 a.m. right now. 10 a.m. right now. So this zone is definitely on watch, 760 and 730. Some areas of interest. So far, 30 minutes in, we're looking at both indices with intraday downtrends. There's ES finally into the 5450. ES has not had a green 5-minute bar for the entirety of the session so far. So NQ, decently responsive there from buyers. But again, my preference right now is a change of character intraday, change in this downtrend. Ideally like a higher low, a break of one of the most recent lower highs. 5 and 15 minutes stay on watch. See if that 5-minute gives the hammer or not. How's the profile looking? Yeah, so it doesn't look like volume point of control will shift anytime soon. Let's see if 5-minute gives a hammer here. NQ back into 820. Alrighty, so that prior day volume point of control area, that CPI support zone held. Now buyers need a push up and through that 820. Can they do it? 5-minute did close green. So a break of 820. Again, that would be significant if it can hold. Needs to hold. So far, rejected again. Session volume point of control. Right there at 18K. Probably won't shift for a while. Yeah, the 5-minute looks good. It needs follow through though. It needs follow through. It means nothing without any follow through. So seller step in there again. See if we get that break of 820. It's kind of the main thing I'm interested in here. How's ES doing? Let's have a look. Oh, still here. Still here. So that opening drive short from that shooting star candle, shooting star 15-minute ahead of the bell. This is why I always want to check that 15-minute candle ahead of the bell. Can really get some great clues from it. ES coming back into the lows. So NQ there into that prior day volume point of control again. Starting to shape up into kind of a little early morning base, right? A little bit sideways here. Like I said earlier, pretty choppy. Stay patient, stay patient. ES starting to build out a high volume node down here near 5450. Coming into that prior day low. There's that prior day low. NQ coming into the lows as well. See if NQ makes a new low of day. Into that 730. I believe that's a CPI low. Yeah, CPI low. There it is. Not much for me here so far. Good real-time example as to why Even with a good signal bar, you need follow through, right? Need that follow through. Otherwise, it doesn't mean all that much. So ES undercut the prior day low there. 54.50 remains significant. Still not a single green 5-minute bar on ES. Sellers in control. And NQ just sitting on the lows here. We do have the weekly profile right here. The weekly aligns with that prior day. Just FYI. NQ just shy of the lows. Undercut of the CPI low could definitely be interesting. Five minutes shaping down. So there's your new low. There's the CPI low. There's 700 level of interest. Check the volume that just came in. New 15-minute bar. So we have 3 15-minute bars previously, just big, broad sell bars. Don't need the fib anymore. delete that. So main watch for me stays the same, right? Just looking for some type of intraday change in character or responsive buyers versus a downside level of interest. Yeah, those higher time frames at the resistance point. Yep. Yep. So NQ next level is prior day low. Way down into 590. Currently in no man's land for me personally. A lot of trading is just waiting. Just sitting and waiting for that setup. Almost 1 hour into the sesh. Still cash for RTH personally. Caught the 40 points pre-market. I'm just waiting for that next setup. How's ES doing? So ES, there's a big change in character on the near term action. We talked about near term being bullish ahead of the bell with the series of higher lows. We now have that breaking down. So near term breaking to the downside, bearish, now in alignment with the intermediate term, which is going to be your hourly, right? So next major level here on ES, if price continues below 54.35, is down into 5400. ES is down 1.4%. Let's take a look at the NQ structure. So still within that prior day's range. No break of the prior day range just yet. If it breaks the low, you'll have a big bearish engulfing on the daily. Here's the regular trading hours chart. So prior day low is kind of last stand for this near-term series of higher lows. So I'll probably give it another half hour or so here before I call it for the morning sesh. So NQ testing that weekly volume point of control. That's that blue line here. Big breakdown in ES. Coming into that structure from Friday. The gap fill, that Monday gap higher, that gap fills down into 54.17. ES may be working on its first green 5-minute bar here for today. Wow. All right, so let's see how the 700 is going to be treated here on NQ. Looking at the reaction for the 700 level of interest here, that was also the pre-market low. And also keep an eye on your 15-minute candle here. Still has 6 minutes before it closes. Afternoon sessions, so we keep the analysis going into Think Tank pretty much all day. But for the live streams, it's typically the first 90 minutes or 2 hours of the market open. So NQ rejecting that 700 level of interest. And ES a bounce with rejection of the 54.35. So a reclaim of the 700 with some sort of change in character would be significant in the near term. Otherwise, we just continue to wait. We're just about 1 hour in. 1 hour into the sesh here. Sellers in control. We've got great volume. So we'll have that next 3-minute bar here in about, or excuse me, 15-minute bar here in about 3 minutes. So far we have 3 very large Sell bars following. Again, that shooting star candle right at the 900 level of interest. If buyers can reclaim 700 here in the next 2.5 minutes, that would be significant for the higher time frames. No shorts for me today. Looking for that counter trend play. Let's see if 700 can be reclaimed here. Just for the sake of that 15-minute bar here in the next 90 seconds or so. $30-minute bar closing as well in 1 minute. Quite bearish. And that hourly closes in 60 seconds as well. Back into the lows here. No reclaim of the 700. So next big reference point down below is that prior day low. You do have structural significance there in the near term. Take a look at your 15. Next clear area of support right through here, and then down into the 550 level of interest for NQ. ES making fresh lows. Looks like this thing is coming for that 5,400. $5,400, your next big level there on ES. The Monday gap higher has essentially been filled here just now. So on ES, you want to see if there's any buyer response versus the kind of 5410 down into 5400 zone. I'm focused on NQ still, looking at that prior day low area, 18,600, 18,590. Intraday trend remains down, series of lower highs. ES not far off that Friday low now. That's 54.10. Hour into the sesh, still cash for the RTH session. Like I said, caught 40 points pre-market. Have not seen a setup that I love so far this morning. So we just wait. Just waiting. Look at the prior day low here. $15, not all that convincing though. So if we don't see a decent setup in the next 25 minutes, that'll conclude my morning sesh. And then I'll look for something late morning, early afternoon, depending on if we get some sort of base setup, some intraday base to work with, sideways trading, and then a breakout of that base. This is through the lens of longs, of course. So NQ, a little bit more responsive buyers coming in. Right near that prior day low. And you could see the structural importance here in the near term, right in this zone. It's your 600, 590 area on NQ. See what ES is doing. Yeah, that's pretty much no man's land for me personally on ES. NQ structure remains intact here, unlike ES. So definitely some relative strength in NQ that's visible despite the selling. Because ES is down all the way into Friday's low. NQ still in the prior day range here. How's our profile looking? Yeah, so you got a long way before these turn into real high volume nodes. There's your new low there on NQ. Few points shy of that prior day low now here on NQ. So like I said a few times, prior day lows on watch here. NQ. Just shy of that prior day low now. New low of day. $15-minute bar closes in 4 minutes. And I will have a hard cutoff here in about 20 minutes. Just per my personal rules. Volume is still pretty good. Still pretty good volume. Still pretty good. ES getting quite a bit tighter here in this 5420 area. Notice how the width of the 15-minute bars is getting narrower. NQ, here's that prior day low. And then you have 550 level of interest next up. This will likely force a change of character here on the near-term action with NQ. Take a look at that hourly, right? Main context, daily breakdown. We've talked about this a bunch, but daily breakdown a few weeks ago, and then a series of lower highs. "15 minutes until 11 a.m. No trades in RTH for me. Staying patient here. Staying patient. If you caught any of the various short setups, nice work. So let's see this action near the prior day low here. And new low of day. Here comes 550. 550 level of interest. See if ES is broken last Friday's low or not. Not quite. Not far off now, only about 4 points off. I gotta break out the chair. Legs are tired. Daily gold, nice. Nailed that short. NQ, I'm looking at 550 here. Let's see the reaction. What time is it? We got about 15 minutes or so. Nah, I can hang. I can hang. Leg day yesterday and 4-mile run this morning. Need to sit for a minute. So ES coming into Friday's low. It's 54.10 and a quarter. Oh, man. Goobers. Oh, boy. All right, so NQ, prior day low, is still on watch here. See if buyers get any interest down in this zone or not. Good day to flex the patience muscle. That's for sure. Break and retest. Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, strong. Good day to flex that patience muscle, definitely. I'll probably give it another 10 minutes here and then hard cutoff time. Sit and stare at the charts too long, start to see something that is just not there. So typically, first 90 minutes, if I have no trade, that's time to shut it down. And it doesn't mean I'll firmly be done for the day, but I'm at least done for the morning. I want to see some higher time frame structural shift, and then we'll look at the afternoon sesh. Still nothing. Execution screen. It's black and gray. No entries. Best action for my system, like I said, so far has been pre-market with that CPI print. So let's see 550 here. NQ coming into 550. This is turning into just like drift. Drift lower, drift. ES just shy of that 54.10. So that Friday regular trading hours low. There was your 550. Looking for any sign that buyers are stepping in. Not much else to say here. ES almost down 2% on the day, 1.63%. ES, you can keep an eye on that Friday low. 5410.25 for regular trading hours. Extended hours, it's a little lower. It's down into that 5400 area. 5394 actually. So let's see what we get into 11 a.m. here. There we go. It's a stronger response, and I like to see action up through prior day low if possible. Check out the 5-minute. That's the first break of the prior bar high in the entirety of the session, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it looks like it. Okay. So that's a good clue. Wiki woo. Oh, man. So this 5-minute closes up. Regular trading hour session volume point of control just shifted. All right. So we have volume point of control there, and then we have the first 5-minute break of the prior bar high for the entire session. Okay. Let's see. About 1 minute till 11 a.m. How's the extended trading hours profile? So this is slowly turning into a high volume node here. Just keep an eye on the 5 minute now. And we're back into prior day low. Let's see if the prior day low can hold. Retesting prior day low. Check out the 15 minute. That actually looks better. See if we get a little follow through on that 15 minute. Our buyers able to reclaim the prior day low here. Rejection of the prior day low there. So again, that 15-minute bar, like we talked about near the open, you need follow through. So see if buyers can break the high, break up through 18. Where's the high there? 18,609, 18,610 essentially. But right now you have more sellers showing up versus that prior day low. Now, what's interesting is you do have the first 5 minute, like I said earlier, first 5 minute break of the prior bar high. And then now you do have the regular trading hour session volume point of control down below price. So if you're still trading here, there's a good area to keep an eye on for sure. I'll give it a few more minutes just because I like the trade location here before shutting it down. How's that intraday fib looking? Let's see. Yeah, so your first shallow fib's up into 632 area. Then the 38% fib is right near that 700 level of interest. Buyers need a break of 610 right now. Can they get it? Into 610 right now. So first real level here is that shallow fib, that 23% fib. That's into 32. Any takers there? That was a decent setup. First decent setup I've seen. See how this shallow fib is treated. Here we go. That's better. That is better. Can we trade 680? Can we trade 680 here? Finally. Finally something. See if that 680 can trade. Intraday structure, fib retracement level. It's kind of the next obvious spot here. Notice how we identified the first 5-minute prior bar high being broken, regular trading hour session volume point of control right into 11 a.m. Small clues make all the difference. Then you have the 15-minute hammer. I took a little more off. I don't like that exhaustion. Make sure you're putting those trails in profit. Is almost plus 70 here, depending on how you entered. But for now, we ride. I don't think a retest, if price pulls back a little bit here, a retest of that 32 area would be acceptable. 30, 32. Much below that, and I'll trail out. So kind of a retest of this little, oh, wrong screen. Retest of this little fib here. Trails down here. So here comes 30. See if it holds. Wow, look at that. To the tick. Not bad. See if we get the bounce now. Yeah, so you could put your trail right below there if you want. I put mine at like 24. Oh, they may grab it here. Need buyers to step in. Come on, buyers, step in. There's the EXE first trade of the regular trading hours session. Life of a long only in a trend day lower. And here comes the trail. There we go. Need that push up through. What's this local high? Oh, 666. Jeez. Need a break of that level. Pretty nice retest of that fib though, huh? Not bad. Better lucky than good sometimes. All right, let's see if we could get 680 to trade. Need a break of this high right here. There's the break of the high. And let's see some 680. There's that push. I raised the trail to just below 30. And I'm going to take more at 75. There we go. Very nice. Almost plus 100 points. Patience pays, let me tell you. Patience pays. We'll take some at plus 100 if we get there. Intraday structure, value area low, fib retracement. Won't be surprised to see some sellers here. Let me see if they give me 92 for the plus 100 in one trade. $15-minute bar closes in 30 seconds. There's the plus 100. Gotta love it. Man, gotta love it. That's a vibe amplifier right there. Next target into 700, level of interest. And your pre-market low is right there as well. What a bounce, even with the re-entry, with that retest of the shallow fib. $700's a big level. You may want to tighten up those trails. I'd like to see some structure here. So if we get a break of 700, I'll raise the trail to like 678 area. Otherwise, right now it's still down at 630. You grab the re-entry, nice. Very nice. There we go. Trimmed a little more at 700. I got to bring this trail up. Don't forget, as you trim, to adjust your trail quantity. You don't want to be flipped short. So my trail's at 78 now. It may get taken out here, but we don't want to give too much back. There's the execution. So remember, the main thing was we identified the 5 minutes showing the break of the prior bar high for the first time of the session. It's a minor event, but it's a significant change in how the market was previously trading. And then once that volume point of control shifted down there, kind of tells us there's some accumulation now. Pair that with, I just got trailed out, by the way, but pair that with the 11 a.m. Typically you'll see kind of a burst of action near that 11 a.m. and good trade location. We had the 550 as well as the prior day low. So we had good location. We had a pretty good setup. We had a small shift in how the market was trading intraday. At that point, you just need an entry. And there's the play. Right there. Let's see. And with the rest of the session there as well. So patience is key. A number of good shorts today, but I focus on long trades, so not really going to be grabbing up the shorts personally. Just looking for that long opportunity. We get it right near the cutoff time. Pretty good looking setup. Now, as far as later in the morning, we have a pretty good bounce. We've almost recovered 50% of the intraday sell-off. I would be looking at the reaction here into 700 and seeing if buyers can continue this move. It is possible that this is a new range that has developed here, sideways range. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Yeah, right side. Yeah, it's a perfect example of right side of the V. But yeah, just looking at this, I mean, if you're going to be trading later in the morning, you want to be watching how the profile develops, seeing if we get, with the extended hours, a much higher volume node down through here. And then most importantly, on a day like today, just keeping the 15-minute on watch. Making sure you're not fighting the 15-minute too much. That was the case this morning. We had that exhaustion shooting star, right? And then the way I think about this type of chart is, for example, when you have the shooting star, okay, well, what do you expect the next candle to look like? Like if the shooting star shows follow through with selling through the low of that shooting star, what is the probability that this next candle is red? It's pretty high, right? So then with that in mind, do you want to focus on longs during that 15-minute candle? Probably not. And then you just go in a sequence, like next candle, next candle, next candle. And if you just have broad sell bars, you may want to wait for a 15-minute hammer before you even start to look at a long. So that's how I think about it personally. That's how I look at it. But overall, today's just a good day to be flexing that patience muscle. If you guys have questions, feel free to reach out in the Traders Think Tank. DMs are always open. We'll keep the analysis going there. We still have good volume, so if you keep trading today, I don't blame you. Just keep an eye on that 18,700, as well as that prior day low, 18,550 area. I hope you guys had a good sesh. And I will see you tomorrow. We have PPI tomorrow, so it could be another interesting one. Thanks for joining the live.